So you've done well to get to the Big Four partner interview and you're wondering what kind of questions you get asked in this interview. Well, in this video, I'll be sharing with you the 12 questions I was asked in my Big Four partner interview. And if this seems like something you're interested in, stick around guys, and I'll catch you in a sec. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kolade. I'm very happy to see you guys once again. If you've not subscribed to my channel, kindly consider subscribing because I share information that can help you in your job application. So without wasting any time, let's get straight into the video. So like the video says, I'll be sharing with you guys the 12 questions I was asked in my Big Four interview. Regardless of whatever capability you've applied to, all these questions are very related and if not the same. I actually applied to the consulting space and my friend who applied to audit and tech literally got very similar questions. However, these questions change from time to time, but I actually want to share this because it might help you in your job application. So the first question was, why did you apply to this role and why did you apply to this Big Four company? To be honest, I actually know what I wanted, so I applied to the consulting capability. So I already have a structured answer for why did you apply to this role. I even made a video about this. I'll share this in the description box below. So, but usually the tip around this is the skills you have that match for the job, also the passion you have for that particular industry and what impact you can make, and lastly, the job satisfaction you can get. And why did you apply to this Big Four company? To be honest, it has to be personal to you. You can talk about diversity initiative that the company is having, whatever program the company is having with respect to sustainability. All these values that are personal to you is what you can talk about, and that was what I actually used. I like this question because it helps you reflect on what you want to do. That's it. The next question I was asked was, what are your career aspirations? I genuinely like this particular question because it helps you understand what you intend to do. So they don't want to hire you only for you to leave in 1-2 months or 1 year after. So I think this question is just for them to understand what you plan to do. So it's a very similar question to where do you see yourself in 5 years. So what you just want to do is you tell them what your plan is, even from before getting into the firm and from the moment you get to the firm up until, you know, the longer term. So I believe that you would have a plan to become a manager. So you want to tell them how you intend doing that. Also, I believe they will have some professional qualification for you. You can talk about your plans for that. And also your passion for learning. So where do you see yourself in 5 years? You see yourself growing as a professional, taking more responsibility later on, and helping new members of the team settle into the work culture of the firm. These are the kind of things you want to do. And the next question I was asked was, what would you do if you spot an error in a particular presentation that your director is about to make to a client? This question, I think the way I actually answered it was I used the STAR approach. If you don't know already, is the situational task, action, and of course, result. First of all, I just try to let them understand that it's always important to inform your director about the error, regardless of whether it's a major or minor error. I think any error can still backfire. So calling your director's attention to it is very important. I gave them a real life situation of when I spotted an error in a particular presentation. Guess what? It doesn't have to be an exact story of probably when a director made a mistake. It could be any situation where even you yourself are making a presentation or someone's making a presentation and you were able to spot the error. And that's basically it. And that leads me to the next question. To be honest, this particular question was kind of tough because it put me in the tight spot. And the question is, what would you do if you found out that your colleague or your teammate sent a client's personal information to another client? Right? I believe in this question, they're testing your knowledge with respect to the importance of confidentiality. And also, I believe they also want to see what you do. Do you also have the values with respect to integrity? So you want to look at the particular Big Four you're applying to, look at the values, and you also want to call their attention to this particular value. So I personally, I believe you do not need to complicate things by blaming your colleague. This is the best time to show emotional intelligence. A good advice would be you guys can inform your manager in order to advise on what the best possible thing to do. And I actually painted a situation when my coworker made a mistake and what I did to help them. So you also want to use the STAR structure. I believe if you use the STAR structure, you will cover everything. And that was it, to be honest. The next question I was asked was, what would you do if a member of the team starts turning to work late? To be honest, I believe this question is testing what type of person you are in a team, right? What do you bring to the team? For example, are you the type of person that puts people ahead of yourself in a team? Do you care for people? Do you try to know people beyond just what you guys do at work? So what you want to do is you want to paint a situation of a time where you worked in a team and a team member was struggling. What did you do? Did you reach out to the person? How did you improve the person's performance, basically? So, and that was it. And listen, if you don't have any story, it's okay, but tell them the importance of a team player. Tell them what you would do if you're in a situation, and to be honest, you'll be fine. And that leads me to the next question. To be honest, this question was very funny. The question is, would you prefer to cut corners or miss deadlines slightly? And I genuinely believe the best thing you want to say here is make them understand why it's not good to cut corners, because it will always backfire. So I gave a typical situation of where one thing led to another and missed the deadline slightly, and how I was able to manage the situation. If you have any story you can give this, I use the STAR approach, and that's the simple way I answer this question. And that leads me to the next question. I believe this question is a follow-up to the previous question I was asked, and basically it's just asking me what I'll do to meet the deadline, and basically I believe what you want to do is walk the partner through your approach when you work. Basically, I'll usually have a to-do list, prioritize what I need to get done, and of course, ensure that I work towards this in the best possible way. And that leads me to the next question. I believe this question shook me a bit because I don't really know the best way to answer it. I found it very difficult though. And the question is, what would you do if a client asks you a question outside of your expertise? The way I actually approached the question was, I would reach out to a very rich pool of talent people within that field and get reliable information, and I'll pass it across to the client. And basically the partner was satisfied with this, but the partner now went further and asked me the next question, which was, okay, what if the client tells you he wants you to provide the answer right now? So what I said was, I would give the client reasonable piece of information around this, but I will try to identify what the benefit of my proposed solution is and what risk comes from my proposed solution. However, I will beg the client to give me the opportunity to go research and bring credible piece of information around this to back up what I've said. And that leads me to the next question. I believe this question is testing your commercial awareness and basically your knowledge around the business world. This question is, what technology trend is affecting businesses? To be honest, this isn't that complicated. You don't even need to know tech. All you just need to do is identify what tech trend is happening. Popular tech trend can be artificial intelligence, blockchain is massive. You can see where technology is going with respect to the metaverse. You just want to identify this. You don't even need to say too much. You can say one. In my own, I talk about blockchain because it's related to my capability, and that was it, to be honest. Nothing more, nothing less. And that leads me to the next question. This question is still testing how you behave in a team. What would you do if a member of your team is struggling with a task? Basically, I gave a very typical scenario of when I've helped someone in the past. And the funny thing is, people always think you can't use your care experience. And I used my care experience. There was this one time where a member of our team just joined. The person was still struggling because it was her first day, and I was able to help her settle into the work culture. This was a very good response to the question because the interviewer liked the experience, liked my impact, and that was it. And that leads me to the next question. And this particular question is asking the type of person you are whilst working in a team, right? Are you a team player? And are you someone who takes leadership? Well, I genuinely believe there's no perfect answer. There are times where you need to act like a team player, where you need to listen, and there are times where you need to take the opportunity. And you can paint a scenario as usual if you have any, and if you don't, it's all right, but I just want to know the type of person you are. And these were the 12 questions I was asked in my Big 4 partner interview. The follow-up to these words, do you have any questions for me? And to be honest, I always have my own strategy around this. I just ask 2 questions, one work-related question and one question that is outside of the work. People are talking about themselves. The partner was just talking, and to be honest, I knew I was going to get a job. 2 days after, I got a call from the same partner and I was offered a job. And that's my experience interviewing with some of the Big 4 accounting firms. I hope you found this video insightful. That's it for this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. La prochaine.